let's start by asking you, Coach, as a soft landing, what was your most memorable moment of the last AFCON? You weren't expecting that question. The most memorable moment of the last AFCON, something that gave you joy, that made you feel like, this is good, there is hope for this country.
I would say the match against South Africa. Because of all the things that happened, we scored our second goal, which was disallowed, and we gave them penalty. I think at the end of the day, we got the penalty shootout where we had that edge over them. So
against a goalkeeper who they said only needed to get to the penalty shootout, and you couldn't stop it.
That was remarkable.
You are a supporter and also somebody who believes so much in the Dutch football philosophy, because you played for Ajax. You went all the way to the Champions League. You won about 8 titles or something of that sort, alongside Kanu Nwankwo for Ajax before you moved on. So now that you are coach of the Eagles, and I'm talking about philosophy, what do you see? What is your immediate plan for Nigerian football? What do you see? Going by the quality we have, the players we have, what are you thinking? What are your first thoughts? Maybe not itemized that, I want to do this, I want to do that. But from the quality, the talent we have at hand, the support you are seeing from the administrators and everything, how optimistic are you leading Nigeria to its to the next phase?
I think with the caliber of players we have all over Europe doing so well, we just have to motivate these players to give that same intensity, commitment that we see them do week in, week out in Europe. So that's my focus for the Super Eagles. In as much as we want to win every game, the focus will be playing good football and winning games. I think we are capable of doing it because we have the quality of players who are doing so well in Europe. So if they come back to Nigeria, we just expect them to do same. We'll continue to encourage them to have that exact, if not same, close to that. And if they can play close to what they are doing in Europe, I think we have all every chance to win.
You joined the Enyimba in 2021, and you were league champions in 2 seasons, I think. In 2 seasons. In the second season. So I'm looking at that, trajectory. Things happen for a reason. Is it okay for us to be expecting an AFCON on the table at the earliest opportunity?
I think coming back to Nigeria, this is almost 3 years now, and me finding myself as the head coach of Super Eagles, I think it's God's making. It's not by my power. I think I've worked so hard, and I think God has taken me to this stage. I think the God that has brought me here will not let me down. So definitely I'm going to put in the work, and I hope everything will go well.
So we can expect success?
Yes. I can't say, because if I look from where I'm coming from and to where I am today, I think there's something positive going forward.
Yeah.
I was going to talk about the player you recently moved from midfield defensive to defender proper, Chukwueze Iheanacho, who started as a defender back in the day though, but everybody sees him as a defensive midfielder. We also have qualities like Eze Kutoziem. I'm not saying this because he's Enyimba generally, but everybody knows that Enyimba is Real Madrid of Nigeria's football. I'm talking about Eze, I'm talking about Ike Nakupa, I'm talking about Wiwu, to mention but a few. Of course, across other talents that we have in the NPFL, how do you intend to infuse them and give them that sense of belonging? Not because it's NPFL, because of the talent that they have, and they'll be looking up to somebody like you to hone that talent so they can have that exposure of blending with the European players.
I would say that was the thing back in the day where we had Christian Chukwu, who was taking care of home-based players, while West Half was in the Netherlands. So by the time West Half is back, they give him all those reports: who is doing well, who is not doing well. He has a couple of players to choose from. That was how things were run back in the early 90s or late 80s. But the times have changed. For me, since I'm here, I've been in the league. I think there are talents in the league. It's just for us to see, scout properly and see who is capable of doing that job. We will not bring players because I know them. We'll bring players because we have seen what they can do, what their ability to help us. That is the only way players can come to the national team. We'll not just bring players to come and sleep in the hotel and then leave. If they come, we know we can make use of them.
I just want you to, just tell us, looking at the current crop of players available in the Super Eagles right now, I know that, with each coach, there's a philosophy, there's a style. Pep Guardiola has a style, Jurgen Klopp. When you look at this present crop of Super Eagles team, what is it that you want to bring to them, and what is that style you want? Because there have been people talking about, the Super Eagles don't have a style, they don't have a pattern of play. Is that something you're looking at, or you just want to, just give them that belief?
It's general
going on.
philosophy.
Yes, definitely. His philosophy. And then who do you look up to when it comes to coaching? Because we all have people we look up to. I know while you were at Ajax, Van Gaal, and then you were at Real Betis, and there were coaches who you must have looked up to, even maybe, I don't know, Pessier as well, before of course he left. There must have been one or two things you picked up, but what is that style that you want to bring to the Super Eagles as George Finidi?
I think every style is is good for Super Eagles, but I think we know what Nigerians want to see. I know that. But we must be able to have that balance. In football, it's all about balance. When you attack, when you defend. If you can have that, I think any formation is good enough for the players. So long as they know, it's always fantastic when players. For me, I can play football at my age now. Only going forward. I can attack, but I cannot defend. So that makes it difficult. But for our players that we have, I think if we can have that playing style that is suitable for them, because they have to be comfortable in any style you want to bring. You, as a coach, you must see if players are not happy with it or they are struggling with that formation. Once they are happy with the formation, just for us to let them understand what we want them to do. That intensity must be there. If they have that intensity going forward, and we also want them to do the same when we are defending. If we have that balance, I think people will appreciate what we want to do.
And do you have any coaching mentor, like
I've played under so many coaches, Van Gaal, Gus Hiddink, the late Luis Aragonés, Clemente, and former Spanish coach as well. George Bowley. So, with all these guys, I think I kept picking. It's just a reflection now, come in my head. What those coaches were talking about in team meetings, and I try to use that as well. When Van Gaal was talking now, I just have a reflection of how he prepared games. Gus Hiddink, Luis Aragonés, all the coaches, and I picked something from all these coaches, and now I can use them. Not 100%, but I can reflect on what they were doing, and then use that, add one or two things to make myself better.
Take you to that first question, which was a man who's asking about wingers, saying, hey, we know at the point Finidi George was the best number 7 in the world. Yeah. I'm not saying in Africa, in the world. Yeah. And he's saying, come on, are you going to do that to our wingers these days? I'm watching Chukwueze and the likes.
We'll try. It's all about motivation. We'll try to motivate them, let them understand that they are the best. So if you can do that and the players understand what you're trying to do, the message you're passing across, I think they will definitely perform. So our job is to, let them understand that they are the best players. They can do even better than what they've been doing, and with that, I think we'll see them perform, week in, week out.
You have had conversations with the NFF. We have seen details, or we have heard details of what that contract may look like. It's a 2-year deal. We hear their targets qualifying for the World Cup, their targets quarterfinal of the World Cup, semi-final of the AFCON. In the conversations you have had, do you feel a sense of interest in building for the long term, or it's intensity, result? We see what the Senegalese Federation is doing with football. We see the time given to Aliou Cisse to build a team that is now dominating across board. Do you feel that sense of this is a long term, or you feel like it's pioneered to deliver results in the urgency? Also, Nigerians want players like Michael Olise, players who are really doing well abroad. Will you make effort to see some of these Nigerians who are shining so bright and try to get them to play for the Eagles over time? And finally, the conversations with other coaches, of the national teams. Are you going to really just mix with them and ensure that we have some good progression of talent from 8th grade teams to the national team?
I will start with the last question. For me, I'll be looking at everybody, age grade, and that's my duty. When you are the head coach of the Super Eagles, you must have an eye on the 17, on the 20, and on the 23 as well. So that's what we're going to do. We are not leaving anybody out. We're going to make sure that the best will come and serve Nigeria at every given time. So we have a lot of players that are in form in Europe. If we have to pick 60 players, I think today we are capable of doing that because we have the players. Your other question is.
You said your drive for success, knowing that you have a 2-year target at the moment, at least based on what we know.
No, for me, I've said it before. On that day of my unveiling, I said it. What keeps a manager is result, no matter even if you have a 10-year deal, what keeps you there is results, and that is what we intend to do. So long as we're having the results, I might stay 10 years. So don't be surprised, So
big talk. Big talk.
Anyway, coach, if you had to put a team today, considering how many fit players we have doing well in Europe, and accommodating our players at home, those who have shown promise, and these guys because you've traveled across the country, would you say, for instance, that if it came down to it, you mentioned that if you wanted 60 global players, but do you feel you have up to 20 names on the local scene of players that you say, without listing them off the top of their head, if I wanted to take a team and I have a collection of no less than 20 players that can rub shoulders with the best from anywhere in Europe? You give it a deep thought.
I don't know. That number is high. If you say 6 or 7, I think definitely I can pick 6 or 7
that are technically
yes.
technically good to go.
Yeah.